G'day, I'm Melissa Shannon, founder of digitalscrapbookinghq.com, and today we're here again for your letter of the day in the ABCs of PSE. So today's letter of the day is the letter V. And finally, we get to one of my top 4 tools in Photoshop Elements, the Move tool. So let me show you how the Move tool works. Here I have a digital scrapbook layout that I have completed, and we're going to have a play around with this page to show you how the Move tool works. By default in Photoshop Elements, the Move tool is set to auto select layer. So when you click somewhere in your Photoshop Elements document, you will get a blue highlight, and then when you click on it, you are then able to move that specific layer or group of layers. So let me show you how this works. Here we have this blue part here is its own layer. So when I click and drag, I move this blue layer. When I click on this text, again, it moves the whole text box. Now, when I click on this group here, you can see here in the layer panel, all of these letters are part of the same group, it moves them all together. If we don't have auto select layer, which is how Photoshop works by default, even if I click over here and I move, I'm still on that group of letters. So I can select my layer in the Layers panel, and then wherever I click on my layout, I'm moving the photo. So that can be handy if you want to move just one layer within a group. If you have auto select layer turned off, it won't accidentally move the whole group or another layer. Now, some other options we have here are Show Bounding Box. Show Bounding Box shows you a rectangle around the selected layer. For example, see this dotted box here with the handles? That is the bounding box. So if we turn that off, you can't really see what you've got selected, but it does give you a good preview of exactly how your layout's going to look. We can also turn off the show highlight on rollover. That means that it tells me if I click here, that's the layer I'm going to select. If I click here, this is the layer I'm going to select, so on and so forth. So I find the blue box helpful, but if you find it annoying, you can turn it off. So we have some other actions that we can do with our layers when we have them selected with the Move tool. So for example, say this one here, I can use the Arrange tool to send it to the back, to bring it forward one layer at a time. Eventually you'll start to see it popping out, or bring it the whole way to the front. And there's also keyboard shortcuts there, Control Shift close square bracket for bring to front, Shift Control open square bracket for send to back, Control open bracket to send backwards, Control close bracket to bring it forward. And on the Mac, those shortcuts are Shift Command square bracket or Command square bracket, if that makes any sense. So another option we do have is if we've selected more than one layer, then we can use the Align tools. So Adobe, in their infinite wisdom, have named these Align tools slightly differently to, say, Microsoft programs. Align Top takes the layers and aligns them to whichever is the highest position on the page. The Bottom tool aligns them all to the lowest layer. If I select these and I click Align Center, it will align centers between the highest and lowest point in the layers you have selected. So these T's are slightly taller, so everything else is centered between that. For the other kinds of alignment, should be easy to show you that with the letters as well. Align Left, they all align to the same left-hand margin. Align Right, they all go to the right-hand edge. For the middle, they all go towards the middle. Because it was centered on the page, it ended up in the center. But if we move these over here and then do middle, it will position them to the middle of that group. It's nothing to do with the middle of the actual canvas. Middle is what's probably known as center in other programs, and center is actually the vertical center. So just keep that in mind. Now, distribute will distribute layers between the topmost layer and the layer that is the lowest. Center will distribute the centers starting from the layer at the top of your layers panel down to the bottom, and bottom will distribute again from the top to the bottom, but is using the bottom point to evenly distribute the layers. So as you can see, you can get a less perfect alignment of your letter stickers if you want to use that. If you click distribute left edges, it will go from left to right, and it will evenly put the left edge along. So as you can see, the U is wider, so we end up with a bit of overlap with the middles, and with the right edges, it's evenly distributing these right edges. That's really all of the features of the Move tool. Just to run through a couple of other things about the Move tool, if you want to select more than one layer with your Move tool, just hold down the Shift key. As you click each layer, it will select, and you can look in your layers panel to see which ones are selected. And then if you click on the layer again, it will deselect it. So when you move items, only the selected layers are moved. So don't forget, you can always undo if you accidentally don't select every item. I love the Move tool. I use it all the time. I especially love those align and distribute for my scrapbooking, but they come in handy for all kinds of photo editing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've liked learning about the Move tool, give me a thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single one in the ABCs of PSE series, you can sign up to my email list where you'll be notified of every new video. And if you'd like to learn more about digital scrapbooking or Photoshop elements, you can head to digitalscrapbookinghq.com.